Hey series finders, grab a snack, ignore the mess, we're talking vampires. I loved the Vampire Diaries. We all did. Stefan versus Damon had us in a chokehold. But the vampire genre is so much bigger than hot brothers passing notes in history class. Some of these shows don't just sip the blood, they drain the entire bank. Today, we're counting down 6 that either perfected what the Vampire Diaries started or flipped the coffin upside down. And before we bite, check the first pinned comment. Streaming info is all there, like a beautiful vampire buffet. Lights dim, candles lit, let's go. Imagine the Vampire Diaries had a baby with Hogwarts, and that baby grew up watching Buffy. That's Legacies. At first, I was like, another spin-off, really? But then Klaus's daughter, Hope, walked on screen, and I was in. This show loosens the Vampire Diaries tie. It's fun. Monster of the Week chaos. 1 week of fairy tale witch, next week an ancient god who woke up hangry. The Salvatore School? Supernatural teens with attitude problems and magic? Detention must be wild. Underneath the fantasy spectacle, it's asking real questions. Can you escape your family's legacy when your dad was the most feared vampire ever? It's lighter than the originals, yeah. Sometimes it's so YA, you're like, is this a CW show or a D&D campaign? But after all the I killed my brother again drama of the Vampire Diaries, sometimes you just want teens solving problems with magic. Don't judge me. Legacies, Vampire Diaries for the next generation, and it earned its fangs. Okay, buckle up, we're getting deep. The US Being Human came in 2011 and said, what if being immortal was a curse? 3 supernatural roommates, a vampire, werewolf, and ghost, just trying to live normal lives. The vampire, Aiden, Sam Witwer, is incredible. He's been alive for centuries and he's tired. Not, oh no, a ball tired. Tired like I've watched everyone die and I'm addicted to blood and I just want to be human tired. The show treats vampirism as addiction, straight up. Support groups, relapses, sponsors. No, I love you for eternity speeches. Just I love you, but I might kill you in your sleep speeches. That's raw. That's the version we don't talk about. And his roommates? A werewolf trying to control transformations and a ghost who can't touch anything? World's saddest support group, and somehow they become family. Being Human, less about the bite, more about what happens after the wound heals.
You're the hybrid. Half vampire, half beast.
I'm the original hybrid, actually.
Okay, elephant in the coffin, yes, it's a Vampire Diaries spin-off, but the originals is not the Vampire Diaries 2.0. It's the older, more dangerous sibling who went to Paris and came back with a knife in their boot. When the Michelsons hit New Orleans, the game changed. No more high school romance. This was about power, territory, politics. Klaus, Elijah, Rebecca stopped being scary villains and became protagonists of their own tragedy. And the tragedy, Klaus Michelson, one of the most complex characters ever, a monster who desperately wants love, done unforgivable things but feels everything so deeply it destroys him. And New Orleans as a setting? Chef's kiss. Witches, werewolves, vampire factions, a living, breathing world. When someone died here, it meant something. When someone betrayed the family, it was centuries of pain exploding. The originals, proof that sometimes the monsters are just broken people who've lived too long. Hey, if you're loving this vampire deep dive, smash that subscribe button. I'll wait. Dramatic pause. Done? Good. And give this video a thumbs up so YouTube stops hiding us from other vampire lovers. We're building a community here. Series finders find the good stuff so you don't wade through trash. Back to the bloodshed.
The year was 1910. My business was design.
Deep breath, we're discussing art. AMC's Interview with the Vampire is not just a vampire show, it's a gothic masterpiece that happens to feature vampires. Based on Anne Rice's novel, which invented the romantic vampire long before the Vampire Diaries, this show reimagines the story while keeping that lush, obsessive energy. Jacob Anderson as Louis? Transformative. Sam Reed as Lestat? I'm not okay. He's terrifying and magnetic and cruel, and you understand why Louis can't leave. The show explores vampirism through an abusive, obsessive relationship, power dynamics, race. Louis is a black man in 1910's New Orleans, and becoming a vampire complicates that, not erases it. The production design, stepping into a painting that wants to devour you. And the framing device, Louis telling his story to a modern interviewer, makes you question everything. Is this truth or just the story Louis needs to survive? Interview with the Vampire. It doesn't just update the genre, it elevates it to high art.
Switch gears. We're going animated and we're going medieval. Netflix's Castlevania is what happens when you let gamers who love the source material adapt it and then say, go as dark as you want, no limits. This show is brutal. Heads rolling, blood spraying, monsters tearing people apart, but underneath, soul. Trevor Belmont, last of a monster-hunting family, teams with a magician and Alucard, Dracula's son, to stop the end of the world. And Dracula? Oh my god. He's not just a villain, he's a grieving husband whose wife was murdered, and his grief is so massive, he decides to exterminate humanity. You almost understand? The animation is gorgeous, gothic art style like a moving comic book. The fight scenes, some of the best animated combat ever. But what sets it apart? Vampires aren't romantic here, they're predators. Ancient, powerful, see humans as toys. The show embraces the horror while finding tragedy in dark humor. Castlevania, bloody, beautiful, and will make you believe in vampire hunters again.
Would have the dark Lord wrought.
And now we need to laugh, because vampires are also ridiculous. This FX mockumentary follows vampires sharing a house on Staten Island, with all the drama that entails. Who left bloody dishes in the sink? Why is the familiar sleeping on the couch? We've been dead for centuries, and now we have late fees? Nandor, Laszlo, Nadja, and Colin Robinson. Oh my god, Colin Robinson, the energy vampire who feeds by being boring at work, are some of the best characters on television. The show takes every vampire trope and blends it with cringe comedy. Vampire councils, hilarious. Vampire feuds, petty and amazing. But under the jokes, it actually understands vampire lore. It's not mocking them, it's celebrating them by showing how absurd immortals would be in the modern world. Of course they'd argue about who's the cool one. Of course they'd struggle with technology. The writing is sharp, the performances incredible. Matt Berry saying bat alone is worth the price. What we do in the shadows, because sometimes the best way to honor vampire lore is to laugh at it. Whew, 6 shows, 6 takes on being a creature of the night. I still love the Vampire Diaries. It's iconic, but these shows took that foundation and build worlds exploring addiction, grief, power, and yes, how funny ancient vampires are with smartphones. Seen any? Comment your favorite. Streaming info in the pinned comment. I got you. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. Werewolf shows next? Zombies? Witches that aren't magic school drama? Comment below. Bye, series finders.